there, welcome back to Anabolic Heroes, your #1 source for hardcore muscle building on YouTube. Our today's video is very important, and I suggest you watch it in full before using any type of steroids. Steroids help you build tons of muscles, but they come with a cost you might not want to pay. What are steroids? While widely used by bodybuilders and others who engage in different sports, steroid cycles are a topic which causes much debate. Steroids are everywhere. Your favorite Hollywood actor, you may be thinking he is natural, but he isn't. Your favorite baseball player scoring tons of home runs, or your favorite athlete winning tons of gold medals and trophies? They all have their dirty little secret: steroids. Steroids are used to treat certain medical conditions, and in that case, they're okay, as they take according to a medical practitioner's advice and for a good reason. However, steroids can also be taken for other purposes, and they are popular with people whose intent is to accept them to improve their performance in sports or to build muscles for bodybuilding. In such cases, when athletes take steroids, the main reason is usually to achieve improved muscle growth quickly and effectively. Others argue that they can benefit from an improvement in metabolism as well as their endurance and performance, among other things. These chemical compounds affect various body processes. The primary type of steroids are anabolic steroids. These are derived from testosterone, which is a male hormone responsible for the growth and maintenance of muscles. Anabolic steroids are primarily synthetic versions of this hormone. The testosterone affects the muscles, but it also impacts the immune system, the blood, the bones, and the hair follicles. It even changes the central nervous system and the reproductive system. When a male goes through puberty, the testosterone levels increase, leading to the development of the various aspects which make a boy become a young man. Steroids' effect on the body. This includes an increase in height, the growth of body hair, a deeper voice, and an increase in muscle mass and sex drive. Testosterone also affects a man's level of aggressiveness. Now, when the testosterone hormone works naturally, it is already causing dramatic changes. So when it is made to work through artificial manners by the use of anabolic steroids, one can only imagine how it cannot be that good. Over time, when one keeps using steroids, the body will get used to getting the testosterone hormone artificially, and it will end up ceasing to produce it naturally. Apart from the negative effect of this, there are several other adverse effects with steroids. How do steroids affect internal organs? Using steroids irresponsibly is dangerous, as it would be with any other drug. While in the US, you would need a prescription to purchase anabolic steroids. This is not the case in several other countries. Although these steroids can help to build muscle as well as improve one's performance in sports, there are specific side effects that cannot be ignored. In fact, according to research, steroid cycles can cause adverse effects on internal organs. The long-term and prolonged use of anabolic steroids have links to heart problems, liver damage, as well as high blood pressure, among other effects. Let's take a closer look at the various side effects of oral injection steroids on the different internal organs. We will be discussing this in the view of when a person takes steroids in a cycling pattern. That means when one takes anabolic steroids in cycles ranging between 6 to 12 weeks. This is known as the on period, which follows not taking steroids. In many cases, people who follow this pattern will subsequently start on another cycle, as the effects of taking steroids will make them do so. Many feel that they cannot let go of them, and they rely on them to keep up the results attained in the previous cycles. But there is much to consider before taking steroids. Please keep in mind the side effects mentioned in this video only happen to those who use steroids for years and decades. Those who cycle steroids for 8 to 12 weeks do not report these side effects, and they can continue doing these cycles for their whole life. The key is to give your body a break and then restart if you feel the need. If steroids were that dangerous, Arnold, Ronnie, Dorian, Phil, and Jay all would have been dead. And seems like that each and every organ of their body is perfectly fine. So let's talk about side effects on long-term users who do not want to come off. Side effects on kidneys. Unfortunately, the use of steroids associated with kidney problems, including kidney cancer. The hypertrophic changes that steroids cause lead to kidney cancer cell development and growth in some cases. The kidneys are responsible for the filtering of waste products from the body, and it seems that the effects of steroids impair this. From some documented cases, it could be seen that after prolonged use of anabolic steroids and creatine supplements, a combination which is very common with bodybuilders, Kidney damage resulted. Anabolic steroids have a considerable impact on hypernatremia. Often this then proceeds to hypokalemic alkalosis. There were cases where kidneys could have practically destructed since steroid cycles affected them dramatically. Poor coda-coma-dillary differentiation and even asymmetry in the organs resulted. Also, when there is a great muscle mass, there could be problems with the cortex. The most common problem relating to kidneys is chronic interstitial kidney disease. The kidneys are among the most negatively affected organs when taking steroid cycles. Side effects on the liver. Similarly, just as kidney cancer resulted in some cases when bodybuilders took steroids, there are also incidents when liver cancer occurred. It is mainly attributed to the fact that the long-term use of oxymethylone anadrol could lead to the production of hepatocellular carcinoma. The liver is an organ that is significantly affected by steroid cycles. It is because steroid hepatotoxicity causes various adverse side effects in the liver. Steroids contain anabolic androgenic substances, and these are highly toxic to liver cells. Liver infections are common, and some could be chronic. Hepatotoxicity shows chronic vascular injuries and liver transaminases. It also led to acute cholastic syndrome and fatty liver disease, which was toxicant associated. There are also people who seem to have gone through substantial changes in lipoproteins, which cause various problems too. Studies conducted on rat liver cell cultures and the results are apparent. The incidence of steroid-related liver problems is evident in these studies. Various steroids were used, including testosterone, dianabol, oxymethylone, and nortestosterone. How to avoid liver problems during a short steroid cycle? Take natural liver support such as milk thistle. Drink lots of grapefruit juice, apple juice, pomegranate juice, orange juice, watermelon juice, beetroot, garlic. Eat tons of vegetables and greens. This way you will kill the enemy before it's born. Cardiovascular problems. The use of anabolic steroid cycle links with various cardiovascular problems, especially higher risk of heart attack and stroke. Long-term steroid use to have impacted heart health in many young men permanently and drastically. Research showed that men who were steroid users had a worse heart function than men who used to be steroid users but then stopped cycles. Steroid users had considerably higher amounts of plaque buildup in the arteries, and this leads to heart disease. Even short-term use of steroids could lead to adverse effects on the heart, let alone long-term steroid use. Studies demonstrate that the more steroids one takes over time, the worse it is going to be for his heart, as the damage could be substantial. Steroid-related heart impairment could be so severe that it could ultimately lead to heart failure. Here is how to fix this problem before it even occurs. You need to take 75 milligrams of aspirin daily during your 8 to 12 week steroid cycle and quit using it the day of your last injection. And you will see that your blood never gets thick and it is as smooth as a red vine. Other natural blood thinners include eating 2 to 3 cloves of garlic every day or drinking a cup of onion juice daily. But trust me, you only need aspirin as it will never clog your arteries. In addition, take omega-3 fish oil supplements during an off cycle to keep your heart and testosterone levels in check. Blood pressure. High blood pressure is a common symptom for people who take steroid cycles. Hypertension causes various problems, such as an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and hemorrhagic strokes. Blood pressure also ends up damaging the endothelium, that is, the inner lining of the arteries. As the arteries end up narrowing down considerably due to this, heart attacks and strokes could result. Anabolic steroids increase blood pressure. It is mainly as a result of the sodium retention properties that they have. It's very easy to control your blood pressure just by eating naturally. First of all, reduce sodium in your diet. Then eat leafy greens, pomegranate juice, beets, oatmeal, banana, omega-3, garlic, dark chocolate, and olive oil, and that's your fix. Effects on sexual hormones. Steroids can influence sexual hormones dramatically. Steroid cycles will have general effects on the body's ability to produce testosterone at reasonable rates. Since with the use of steroids, one will have high levels of androgenic agents in his or her blood, the chemosensors in the body will end up sending out chemical messages that the organs do not need to produce such agents, as they would typically do. It leads to a slowing down, which in time curtails normal bodily functions. This reaction happens after prolonged use of steroids. Moreover, in males, the long-term use of steroids often leads to azoospermia. It is a condition whereby the sperm count ends up declining significantly. Apart from that, the sperms are often either inactive or deformed. It inevitably affects one's sex life. Their case, where men who ended up suffering from azoospermia had to undergo extensive interventions involving gonadotrophic agents to be able to stimulate their system sufficiently and produce sperms usually. Another problem is that the prostate gland, which produces the seminal fluid required to convey the sperm, can also be significantly impaired after prolonged steroid use. In a study on an athlete who used steroids routinely, the results showed that his prostate gland became bigger after several cycles. It led to problems with his ability to urinate, as well as the discomfort of needing to urinate frequently during the night. While there is no evidence that all this could also result in prostate cancer, it is evident that steroids have a considerable negative impact on prostate function. Therefore, a short 8 to 12 week cycle is recommended. Please watch our video 8 weeks 750 milligrams testosterone only cycle to learn how to keep producing sperm and natural testosterone during a cycle. To avoid prostate issues, do use a natural test booster such as Black Ox Test Booster from getenhanced.shop. Add saw palmetto during PCT and other test boosting herbs such as tribulus, ashwagandha, shilajit, ginseng, and use of organic saturated fats in your diet, and your prostate will be healthier than any average person. Aggressive behavior. Mood and behavioral changes could also result among steroid users who end up taking several cycles. From certain studies, it concludes that steroid users were more prone to violence. Anabolic steroids consistently link to aggressive behavior. It appears to be one of the main adverse effects that these drugs end up causing. Only way to control your aggression is peaceful thoughts.
What if I need to get a little rocky?
Think peaceful thoughts?
Peaceful thoughts. Peaceful thoughts.
Building muscle naturally goes hand in hand with developing one's health. Building muscle by taking steroids is a possibility, and there is no denying that steroids do work. They do deliver results with a short time frame. However, when considering the various adverse effects that they have on the human body, most organs, you might want to think twice before using steroids long term. There are safer, natural ways to build muscle. And even though it may take longer to achieve the desired results, it is better than suffering from any of the problems as mentioned, most of which are chronic or life-altering symptoms. We're publishing daily bodybuilding content to feed your muscles. Remember to leave a like, share in your favorite bodybuilding group on Facebook or a forum. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll see you soon.